Caught in the act.
Hello.
Caught in the act.
Did you see me?
A part of me wanted to
Hi.
go like this.
Yeah, I was doing this the whole time. That music is just so peaceful.
And what people probably don't realize, I know they don't realize, is that when we record our videos, they only get 5 seconds of it. We get a whole 30 seconds.
30 seconds, so we're vibing.
So when I hit record, we're for 30 seconds, it's a whole
Yeah. It's
caught
nice
in the
because
act.
it chills you out before the anxiety ensues. Hi.
Yeah, definitely an interesting busy week to say the least. So we do need the
Yes.
um
Um,
how are you?
I'm good. Like we weren't talking for 3 hours before this, but I'm good. How are
No,
you?
bro. It's been a long time since we've met. So welcome
Yeah.
to the Have You Heard podcast with Abby and Moxie. It's been a couple weeks now, right?
I would say it's for them probably yes. It feels like a month for
It,
like
it feels like
real
a long
time.
time.
Yeah.
And we've literally could have banged out 2 episodes today because we were on the phone for 2 hours prior.
Yeah.
But this is episode 7, so
Hi
yes,
everyone.
it's
I
been a
know
busy
you
day.
need the mixer. You need the
So you don't like mine? No, I get it. I need a
in a
mixer.
past life you guys didn't know that she was a DJ Abstract.
DJ Abstract, baby. Exactly. But when you get older, things you have to leave in the past. So just kidding. I do need a mixer. You know what? I do want to invest in like an audio mixer interface that has the sound
Yeah.
effects and the you can pre-record your own like what would be a prompt that you would do if you had one? Well, I think I don't
I have
know.
a good one.
What
You
is it?
on Discord when me and my siblings are playing video games, there's a little tiny soundboard, and my favorite one is the golf clap. It's like so that for sure, or like the like the violin or the sad horn, the womp womp womp.
Oh, that
Those
is a good one. I don't know
yeah.
what would I see. I'm so I don't even know what the word is, but I would probably want one of me saying something like, "Oh hell no," like something
Oh
like
yeah,
because you can record them yourself as well. But
yeah.
yeah, maybe that'll be my next investment.
We would 100% need. Shout out to Blair White. We would need what in the hills have eyes.
Shout out to Blair White. We love you, Blair
Yeah.
White. He's like, "What in the hills have eyes is this?" And it's always literally talking about a person that fits the damn
The
narrative.
description, yes.
Oh my god,
Oh
let's
my
not.
god.
It's Sunday. We got to do better. Let's be more
I know. Sorry. I'm
Christ-like.
sorry.
Yeah, so we have it's been a while since we've recorded, so I'm super excited that we are here.
Yes.
So much has gone down rather with
Yes. And
pop
it's still
culture,
going down.
which by the way,
Yes.
we haven't even spoken about the Diddy trial,
Oh
which
my
is
god.
wild. So pop culture and politically speaking,
A wild one. A
it has
wild
been a
one.
wild one. Yeah, you're right. Like that's
It's yeah.
so
Ugh.
I try to follow it at work because I'm just like bored at work. So I don't
Hmm.
ever like what I'll do is I'll put CNN and because they cover the Diddy trial, like so they didn't allow any cameras or any reporter. I'm sorry, there's reporters there, but nobody's allowed to record. So it's all
Yeah.
back in the day. Everybody's taking notes, and that they're getting the
Hmm.
updates as, which is ironic though because how I'll have to look into that. How are the updates happening in real time when nobody has? I'm assuming probably their phones or something. I don't know. So on
So
CNN,
yeah, that's a couple of people I follow. They'll when they have like a break or like there's a recess, they'll go
oh, is that
outside
when
and
they're doing
update.
it?
Yeah. Hmm.
Because I'll go on CNN and I'll have a tab open and it'll be like if I go to use the restroom or if I'm on the phone or something and I'll look back on the computer, it'll say there's 2 updates. And it'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, ex-girlfriend going by alias, whatever, and it'll be updated. But it's been cray. Are we bringing cray back? Cray.
We can for this. The reason
We
I
should.
haven't been looking into it, I know this sounds so stupid, but the reason I haven't been like, because there's a lot of people I follow been talking about it who are in the courtroom as well as
Mhm. Yeah.
reporters. This just feels like old news to me. Like it's like I feel like I'm not going to hear anything new because we've known this for such a
Yeah.
long time that I'm just like. I don't want to say I'm bored of it because I feel like that's disrespectful to the victims, but it's kind of like what was going on with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, where I'm like,
Yeah.
not the whole truth is not going to be told in this
Right.
courtroom, and I feel like that's going to piss me off. Like, you know what I mean?
I actually 100% get it because it is tiresome. Like you're just like over it.
Yeah.
I have another take on it. The only reason I'm watching it is
Uh huh.
because I feel like he's gonna get off. When you see
Really?
what he's being accused of, so he's being charged with racketeering, which is federal,
Hmm.
like RICO charges.
Yeah.
Um, that automatically you want to assume is like weapons, guns, drugs,
Drugs.
whatever.
Hmm.
But there's certain words in let's look it up. In under RICO, like for instance, one of them is like transporting someone across state lines to have sex with. I think is a part of RICO. Let's just look a quick little
Yeah.
brief. What are RICO charges? So my biggest fear is that the emphasis being placed on this trial is the sexual abuse and the he kind of like extorted her as well. I want to see
Hmm.
what RICO actually means because he's not getting charged with domestic violence, sexual abuse,
Right.
physical abuse. If those were the charges, he's trial
He's
over,
done.
goodbye, good night.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's being charged with. And so my biggest concern is like, oh my God, the defense is going to have the argument that none of this violates RICO
Right.
because now you have a jury of 12 legally by the definition of RICO. If it doesn't, I watch a lot of Nancy Grace talking about it, and she's like
Hmm.
yelling at the camera, like, "Are you an idiot? This smells of RICO all over it." And she talks about the extortion and the crossing state lines to have sex. And a
Yeah.
perfect example was she signed a 10-album contract.
Right.
10 albums. That was the contract. She recorded 9 of them, and only one got released because he was extorting her. So
Hmm.
let me. Okay, so this is what RICO stands for. It's Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. I don't like this mouse. Hold on. The law that allows the authority to punish those who engage in criminal activities such as racketeering. I have a lot of it's a weird situation I got with Google here. I don't know if why it's doing that. I'll tell you why, because the page that I selected has a lot of ads. So I'm gonna find something else.
Hmm.
But basically, that's why I'm watching it. It's because I'm concerned that because he's not being charged with specific RICO violations of RICO of the act itself, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna go
Yeah.
out if he's gonna get off? So yeah, it's
That's
like
crazy.
drug crimes, organized crime. All right. Over
That's the
time,
part that would piss me off. It's like
right.
we're not pursuing, kind of like again with the Ghislaine Maxwell, case, and talking about Jeffrey Epstein, even the documentaries and stuff. Like we're not looking at the big picture. We're like micro focused on what is going to cover and justify what we're charging this person with, and it's like, how about we just lay everything on the table and then find the
Agreed.
charges as we go? Like, you
It's
know,
true. And the crazy thing is that when it comes to legal, like legal shit, legal stuff,
legality. Yeah,
legality, it doesn't matter if he raped her or sexually abused her. It matters what he's being charged with.
charged with.
So
I
Rico stand I
know.
just did a chat GPT because it's easier than all the Google searches was just a bunch of endorsements and ads.
Yeah.
So RICO stands for Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. It is a federal law in the United States passed in 1970. Originally designed to combat organized crime like the mafia, but over time it's been used to go after all kinds of criminal enterprises, from drug cartels to street gangs to white collar crimes.
Hmm.
The purpose is so basically I think it's safe to say that we all know that RICO was created to go after the mob in the 70s.
Yeah. Hmm.
But there's certain not stipulations, but there's certain things under RICO that I'm hoping they find with this trial because that's what he's being accused of.
Right.
So that's why I
Yeah.
watch the trial very, very, diligently because he got to go to jail. I mean,
I know. I
a
know.
a little bit like he's done a lot of crazy shit,
Dude's
but
yeah, dude's been doing crazy shit since before I was born. I mean, like this is just
so like the
oh,
wildest the wildest thing that I think is hilarious to me is that you and I have talked about before how in the hip hop community, we grew up, we're from New York.
Mhm,
The music that we brought up, we were brought up with gangster
mhm,
rap, hip hop, like the
mhm,
big, the Tupacs. Let's take it back, the KRS Ones, the Rakim. Like this is back,
mhm.
right? It's all gangster rap and like street shit. But then you got Diddy, who I think was an asset because
Yeah.
he's this gangster rapper putting on Biggie and all this shit.
Mhm.
But one of the things that he enjoyed was when Cassie would have sex with the. I don't know if you heard this or not.
The
Um,
gas squirts.
yeah. So no. So well, kind of yeah. Cassie would have sex with these escorts, but
Mhm,
then he made her use their ejaculation
mhm.
situation. He would make her rub that on his nipples.
This is
So
a fucking freak. This man
I
is
hear an
like.
alarm
You
in the
know what?
background. Is
Another
that
thing.
you?
It's a watch. I'm sorry, everybody,
Oh,
if
it
you
went
hear
out. It's done.
that.
It's done. So like these guys would ejaculate, and he would make Cassie rub that on his nipples.
This
Yeah, you're
man.
pretty.
Can
You're
I
pretty
just tell
gangster rap,
you?
Diddy.
Can I just tell you? We need to go down the rabbit hole and maybe make a series about this, about every single Scorpio that there are allegations against. Okay, Diddy, Drake, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. They're all Scorpios, and I do
Are
not
they?
claim this energy. Yes. Like, why are you guys such fucking freaks? What's wrong with y'all?
And
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
it's another's man. It's another man's cum. Like,
But
and
I mean,
she,
I'm not surprised. You heard the that audio that Nicki Minaj apparently took at a Diddy party. She snuck her phone in.
the Meek Mill one.
I am traumatized.
I don't know if that's I as I get older and I go down rabbit hole. Shout out to Helen, Georgia, beautiful place in Georgia. I had to. This is the closest I have to a tinfoil hat with the Sasquatch. As I'm getting older, I'm like, is it real? Because when I was younger, I would just believe anything and everything, like, oh hell no, whatever. But that's something else.
But you know why I do feel like it's real?
Do tell,
If
please.
first of all, if it's I'm convinced I have some type of ADHD. I got something because my head doesn't stay quiet for too long. But when it does, I hear that shit in my head. Okay, it's so
No, it's like
traumatizing.
the pounding
It
and
is.
the.
It is so traumatizing. I wish I never heard it. But
I was actually
I
gonna say,
have
should I play it? But I won't.
no, no. I I have never heard, okay? I have never heard, and to my family that's watching this, please forgive my verbiage I'm about to use or skip a couple minutes, okay? I have never heard gay sex and the N-word being used at the same time like that. I never heard that in my life. I'm like, this is 100% Meek Mill getting his cheeks clapped. There's no way. Which, by the way, everybody online thinks it's a joke. I think it's sad because if you think back, Diddy was drugging most of these people into submission. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of these people would not have laid down with him. I think that there was a lot of drugging that went on. But again, the reason I think is real, the N word being used at the same time,
Yeah,
nah,
that's actually a
that was
valid point
weird.
for us that grew up, in the hood and in the lower poverty side. You're right. I understand. I it makes sense to me what you're saying.
Yes.
However, we
Oh,
do know for a fact that he was drugging these people and they probably wouldn't have done that otherwise. But there
yes.
was a situation where Meek and Diddy both dressed the same. It was like a flex.
Yeah, yeah. I know
What?
Meek. Oh, there's that other video of Meek. Did you see when he was playing the? I think he was playing tennis with that rich white guy. I don't know who the guy was.
Yes.
He was like,
Yes,
"Hop, Meek, hop like a bunny," and he's like, "Okay, master." Like I will. I'm like,
I
what
did
is?
see that.
I'm like, this is times like this to grind like that to shine like this. This is what you were talking about. Like,
That was fantastic right there. That was
I'm
great.
sorry. I
Yeah.
know, but like, oh.
But it's funny because then you think about the gangster rap that he puts out, and it's like questionable at this point.
You're making Philly look crazy, Meek. You're making Philly
Like,
look crazy.
and he's had some bangers, like real shit.
I
Like I
know.
felt like I went to prison listening to Meek Mill. Like I overcame the prison life.
Right? I'm telling you, every time I was at a function, at any type of party, and
That
that song
championship
came
song,
on, everybody stopped. Everybody, they would find the quickest thing to smoke on because it was the moment. Take your
bro.
drink, take a shot, because when that song came on, everyone was in harmony. Now it's
Every
embarrassing.
everybody survived time. Everybody's on parole. We just trying to make it through. We
Everybody's trying to
just
see their kid.
we just trying to see our kids. We trying to get through parole, man. Like I had a job and everything when they came to get me. Like and for I don't know people. That's an inside joke for people, and it's not a joke. It's not funny, but sometimes when people get locked up,
Yes.
there it's a habitual thing. They keep it goes back and forth between county jail.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll say, I had a job and everything. And it's like, yeah, you did, but now
You
you don't,
did. Right.
But that's a big one.
I just listen. I
So
don't.
can you imagine Cassie sitting on she was there up until she gave birth, literally.
Yeah.
And she's like, he made me rub explicit on his nipples after such and such would ejaculate. Like
What a
he thought that
freak.
was sexy.
Oh. Oh,
Excuse, we have a special guest. We have a special
Fetty,
guest.
I agree, Fetty. He don't like this. He's like, this
He
is his
don't he don't like he's
medicine.
like, "No Diddy." He's like, "No
No
Diddy."
Diddy.
But, a lot has been happening, with that trial, and you just go back and think all the dances that he's had with Mace. Like, I think to be honest, I think that Mace is one of the only ones that kept it all the way funky with him, like, putting
Wow.
him on blast. There was speculation because people have spoken about how he used to, like, take advantage of contracts and not pay people out. Danity Kane has spoken about it. Day 26 has spoken about it. And Mace is like let's talk about it. He's the only one that's actually
Yeah.
has challenged him.
I
But
remember being a kid and you guys oh my gosh, at
yeah.
abuela's house, you guys would be in the living room watching Making the Band. And I remember I'm a little kid. I'm like,
Yes.
this is so freaking cool. So, but now as an adult, when I see clips, like what was the band's name? Day 26.
Yeah.
They're all singing in a room. They're all singing their heart out, going sick. And when they stop, Diddy licks his lips. He's like, y'all need to get naked now. I'm like, what? Like,
I
what
don't
is
remember
happening?
that.
Yes, I saw it recently. He was like, it's time for y'all to get naked now. I'm like,
Oh, when
what?
he made him walk 8 miles to get him a cheesecake just because he wanted a junior cheesecake. Like
This is
I remember being
insane.
able to download you guys, if you're on my age, you would remember this. Most you probably won't, but LimeWire.
Oh,
Do
I've
you remember?
used LimeWire. Yeah.
Okay, well, but there was one before that I don't remember. Napster. Were
I've
you
heard
around
of
for
it, never used it.
Napster
Yeah.
was the original. I remember
Mm-hmm.
downloading like the Day 26 albums, like I probably actually still have it in my garage actually because I have my book with all my CDs in there. And
One
I
of the
love Day
guys
26.
from there, he was
Huh?
on Bad Boys. One of the guys from the group, he was on Bad Boys, and you could tell he's not okay. Like he
He came out and spoke about some sexual abuse.
was that Day 26, or am I thinking of B 26?
B2K.
B2K. Sorry. Yes, he's in B2K. I'm sorry.
So B2K, yeah, I think you're talking about Lil Raz. Is that his name, Lil Raz?
Yes. Yes. The blonde. He had like he's a little light skinned one.
Yeah, he was
I'm sorry. I got the two bands confused while you were
is
talking.
it
My apologies.
B2K? Oh my god, I don't that's humiliating if I don't remember his
I think
name.
it is B2K. I think you're
It is
absolutely
B2K,
right.
but I don't remember the names. Um, you had Little Fish, J Boog, Raz B, and
It's
Omarion.
Raz B. Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
apparently they all got sexually assaulted except Omarion. And it was because of who he is. And they all knew about it. And they try to have do you don't remember that he released that video? Like on a flip phone in like 1990, I would say no, it was probably like 2000, like 2 or 3. He's
No.
like, "Oh my god, if you see that, we can go down that rabbit hole." He's like, "Oh yeah, motherfuckers knew, da 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 da." Excuse my language. Da, da, da. Like he talked
Oh,
about it, and it was like one of the managers was sexually abusing them, and supposedly Omarion was the only one that wasn't. But Little Fizz, none of the guys wanted to ever talk about it, but it really meant it messed up his mental health.
Yeah, you could tell when he was on Bad Boys, like he was like, hey, and I think Orlando Brown was on that season as well. Both of them were at the same time.
What season?
Is this
What do you
season two? Bad
what is
Boys on Zeus.
Oh, I've never seen that. I'm one this whole time I'm thinking
Yeah.
you're talking about Bad Boy, the music company, his record
Oh
label,
no,
Bad
I'm sorry.
'cause I
I'm
never
so
watched Zeus.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that show that company needs to be taken down too. The owner of that company, he's Diddy 2.0. I guarantee you.
but we all called Orlando Brown crazy when he said Diddy gave him the ushkashka ushkashka. Remember that?
I didn't call him crazy. I knew he was licking his lips. He's like, Diddy, I love it, yo. I'm like,
It's you know
I
what?
know what he's talking about. Because when
It's sad
you're,
because he probably was a child because he's been talking about that for about 10
yeah,
years now. Right? You would say
yeah,
about 10 years?
yeah.
And he's my generation a little younger, so he was probably about 15, 16 years old.
Well, did you ever see the clip? So he's been in television since he was a little child, but
Yeah,
there was a clip from some show he was on where he had the panda eyes, and it was a whole
he
joke.
did.
Yeah.
If you don't know about the panda eyes, just Google
He
it.
talked about it too. He talked
He
about it in the
did.
interview. Yeah.
So, Raven has a podcast with her wife. They kind of both annoy me, but I have a special heart,
Oh,
place in my heart for Raven because I grew up with that. So Raven, I love her, but she does annoy me.
yeah.
But she talked about Orlando Brown and she talked about Kanye, and she's like, they're not crazy. She
Yeah.
goes, they're just what is the word? Like reacting. Like they're
Yeah.
angry and this is a reaction. But she's like, Orlando's
Yeah.
not crazy. I've known Orlando my whole life. So
Yeah.
she's kind of implying like what he's saying is true without
Yeah.
saying it. And there's a reason why he's acting like that.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at all of the it doesn't take much to tell. If you look at all of these people who have been in the grasp of Hollywood from a very young age, they're none of them are normal. None of them are, they're all trying to cope with what happened to them.
I know.
That's what it is. I
Look
mean,
at the
the,
vines.
the thing that people don't, oh my God, yeah. I remember seeing her, remember Twitter back in the day when you only had like a little bit of characters to tweet?
It's like
And she
40.
made, yeah, she was making multiple tweets at the same time, back to back, and they spelled out Dan did it. Um,
Yep.
like
Dan
it's all of
Schneider.
these things. Yeah, it's crazy because if you have any ounce of intuition, you can just tell something is wrong. And
Yeah.
then the people that do come out and say things like, what's his name? Corey, was it Corey Haim or Corey Feldman or whatever?
Felt I think it's both of the Taylor two Corys, isn't it both of them?
Tell it to Corey, but there was the one who was more vocal in the interviews
Because
and
he's still
everything.
alive.
Because he's still alive, exactly. I mean, he was like the first person I'd ever seen that admitted on camera. He was like, Hollywood's number one problem is pedophilia. Like, there's no, you guys
Corey
think it's
Feldman.
drugs. Feldman, thank you. You guys think it's drugs. You think it's drinking. These are all the coping mechanisms that come from what happens. And there's a reason these, Hollywood, they do they're the ultimate groomers, these
Yeah,
producers, ultimate groomers. They literally get your child to become theirs. It's like you
literally.
it's just, I don't understand how people don't get it yet,
Because it seems too far fetched. And here's the thing that what most
It's
people
true. Yeah.
need to understand is that it's a venom that has made its way into Hollywood. Not made its way, it's originated in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like that's the core. Like the United States of America is the core hub for human
Yeah.
trafficking, sex trafficking, and pedophilia. If there's a
Yeah.
market for that, for PDF, I don't even know if we could say the word on YouTube. The market for pedophilia, the United States of America is the hub. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, you have Hollywood
Yes.
involved, you have federal government involved, bipartisan issue. Shout out to my Facebook friend who I know from work. We got
Yeah.
into it. We got into it on Facebook because I posted a video saying, which we'll talk about Donald Trump and Elon Musk's Twitter beef or beef rather. Um,
Yeah.
it's a bipartisan issue. It's
Yes.
Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberal, whatever you want to give your name to your party. It is something that everybody's a part of it. The music industry, the
Yes.
acting industry, like actors, musicians, singer, it doesn't matter. It has
Yeah.
consumed all facets of power.
Yeah.
And we got into a kind of like a little Facebook spat because he commented on my video. He goes, oddly enough, I've never seen you talk about Epstein, let alone it being a bipartisan issue. And I said, well, you probably haven't seen my videos because I've been talking about this forever.
It's all we talk about. Yeah.
So he went and screen recorded my whole Facebook. Was like, I
What?
don't find anything. Yeah, it was a whole Facebook beef. He gets very
Jesus.
offended because he I will say this on the record. If you ever watch this, your hate for Trump is bigger than your love for country. And it is what it is. So I
That's a good way to
do
put it.
believe that it's a bipartisan issue. You would be out of your mind to think that it's not. So
Yeah.
when the Twitter beef between Trump and Musk happened, where I guess I could segue into that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Elon Musk said that I'll pull up the tweet. That Donald Trump is on the Epstein files. People are waiting for my response. People that I'm on friends with on Facebook or even Instagram, they're waiting for my response, and my response is lock them up. If Donald Trump is on the list and we know this, I don't care if your grandmother is on the list. She got to go too.
Yeah.
How is that? How is
So
that not a
everybody on Facebook, take that. This is your reaction. We'll remember to screen capture
Yes,
this at 27 minutes. Go ahead.
I
This is
don't
your response.
understand. I How is it not a bipartisan issue? It's not a black or white issue. It's not a black and Hispanic, or black and brown, or white or whatever, male versus. It's a human issue. If your
Yeah.
name is on that list and you touch a little kid, it's a wrap. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's Barack Obama. I don't care if it's Donald Trump. Who's my favorite artist that I can say? Who do I listen to? Um, I don't know. I don't really have any favorites. Demi Lovato. Love Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Grew up listening to Demi Lovato. If Demi Lovato is on camera or video, or somebody accuses her, I couldn't say accused, but let's say that it was proven that she
Yeah.
violated a child, you better go singing skyscraper in C block. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And what happens is with politicians and with people on the left are just enamored. Like they just love the fact that somebody finally said it. Trump is on the list, which was Elon Musk. They have a whole Twitter beef that we can get into. So they're
Yeah.
like, he needs to go to jail. What do you have to say
We're in
about that, Abby?
agreement.
They're like,
We're
what do
in
you have to say
agreement.
about that, Abby? He got to go to jail. He got to go to
Yeah.
jail. And I don't understand why people are so like. I just think it's just clear.
You got
If
to
you
remember too that the media for the longest time, and I'm not just going to say just the media. I mean, there definitely were people in the sphere of MAGA that
Mhm.
kind of see him as, the savior, Trump as the savior and everything. But the thing is, that is not everyday regular people who just love this country. It is, there's a side of it, yes, like anything else. There's a side of it that these people are just infatuated with this man because they believe that he is the end all be all. But you have to also remember the news inflamed that. So whenever anybody sees that you like Trump or you have the Make America hat, Make America Great Again hat, they're conflating, like they're putting you in that box. You know what I mean? And people need to stop doing that. People need to
Like
stop doing that.
I totally try to understand it, but do people think that because I voted for Trump, I'm going to be opposed to him going to prison for being on the Epstein list?
That is exactly where their brain goes, and that's just because of what they've been force fed by the legacy media. You know what I mean?
Okay, but let's
That's
put legacy media aside,
yeah,
right? Just as a human being, just as a human race.
yeah.
So let's flip it on the Democratic side, or just anybody. If somebody you loved did that to someone, you would still support them?
The thing is, there are certain people, and this is not you, obviously, because you are speaking out against that. There are certain people that you can put it in their face. You can give them a video of this person doing the atrocities, and they're like, well, I
Yeah.
just still don't believe it. I don't believe it. That's the
We've actually spoken
problem.
about that before, you and I. We've actually spoken about how, and then there's some, and here's the thing too, that sometimes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. I'll
No,
tell you
no, no.
after.
That was it. I was commenting on what you said. Yeah.
But it's true because if you flip the coin, right, and you flip the coin and say, here's the video of blah, 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 some people, just because of who it is, they won't believe it.
Yeah.
So they'll say
Exactly.
it's a fake video, it's altered. Well, now with the AI, the
With
technology, how
AI.
much it's moved
Hmm.
significantly in the past 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, lock them. Like, I don't understand where the confusion lies.
Yeah. But you're
I
not
can't
a
think of
you're not a hive mind person though. You still think for yourself. That's the thing. They're conflating you with these hive mind people, and it's like, no, that's not me. I have autonomy. I'm me. Like, I know what's right and wrong, and just because right now this person is speaking the values and beliefs that I have, 20 years from now that's going to be a different person. It's
right,
not I'm
right.
following the person, I'm following what my beliefs are. You know what I mean?
Like I understand that, but are you mean to tell me that there's people that would not accept that it's true because of the person?
110%.
So then that goes back to shout out Andrew Schultz. When Andrew Schultz brought up, and I said it before on another episode, where
Hmm.
Andrew Schultz says, facts don't care about feelings. That's what he was basically quoting Ben Shapiro, whom I don't really like
Did
that,
he
but
flip it too, right? He flipped it. The feelings
so
don't care
Ben,
about facts.
yes, so Ben
Yeah.
Shapiro says, facts don't care about feelings. The facts are the facts, the facts are the facts. But Andrew Schultz is like, no, I'm going to challenge you and say feelings don't care about facts because how you
Yeah.
feel about a person supersedes the actual facts of what happened.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
My mindset is lock them up. I wish that I could think of a celebrity or a person in power that I'm like, oh my God. Okay, perfect example. Tulsi Gabbard. Perfect example. I love Tulsi Gabbard. I loved her ever since she was a congresswoman. She was a young congresswoman.
Hmm.
I always thought she was hot. Um,
She
and
is
then now
hot.
she now she's the DNI, right? She's the Director of National Intelligence. I think that's what it stands for. I don't remember.
Yes,
But
I
if
think you're
she's
right. Mhm.
on record abusing a child, she gotta go too. Like I don't understand. It's a essentially boils down to right and wrong. It doesn't matter the
Yeah,
person. So I
exactly.
have friends on Facebook that posted the very same tweet that the I'll read it for those Elon Musk time to drop. This was I don't even know how many days ago this was, but it was headline news. Time to drop the big bomb at the real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. So I have friends on Facebook who are like, who are the Trump supporters? I'm like, I'm right here. Remember me? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm here. If it's
yeah,
true, lock them up. Like, you want me to be like,
yeah.
oh yeah, no, fuck that. It's so barbaric and it's so ridiculous. But um, what are your thoughts on this tweet? What are your thoughts on what
I
happened, why
think
it happened?
I think that it's interesting because I personally don't think that Elon Musk has any clue of what's in those files. I don't think
Right.
that he has a
I was
clue at
actually
all
wondering
because
that.
yeah, I don't think so. I think that Trump is a very strategic guy. I mean, he's a businessman, and I don't think that he would have given Elon Musk that much power. I don't even think Trump right now has that much power to even see the files himself. I
I
think
think,
that
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think that it's close to the chest of the people that do have access to it. And like Cash Patel was saying, it's only been 100 days since he's been and essentially siphoning through what's real, what's not, what's going on with all these
Yeah.
files that have been hidden for many, many, many years. So, in the regard of what Elon Musk said, I personally, I don't think that he has any idea what's on anything. He has no clue. You had a role in the government for a short stint where you were, making sure the money is being allocated correctly and getting rid of programs that are destroying, our country essentially.
Mhm.
It's completely separate entity to what's going on with what the FBI. and the CIA,
And the
whoever, whatever they're
DOJ,
doing.
the DOJ,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that he took that, what people have been speculating, because we even speculated it on the podcast, where it's like, maybe he's not really, that's the point of being a human. Like we're wondering, maybe that's why they're not releasing it. Maybe there's,
Right, we actually have talked about that.
yeah. And I think he took that and ran with it, because remember, he's, not all of them, because I don't trust Elon Musk to,
I
with
never
any,
trusted him either.
yeah, but a large part of Republicans do trust him.
Oh,
And
they
I think,
idolize him.
yeah, I think that he was doing something to kind of like shake up their world too, a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he was purposely trying to shake up some drama with
Well, I think the
Trump.
big thing with him, and I'm glad that you, I don't, I already forgot the word they used to describe Trump, but if you look at it, this is what he is. He literally is the art of the deal. He's very like chess player kind of mentality, like, you
Yeah,
know,
he's
and his
strategic.
mentality is that of a businessman. You know, a lot of people talk
Yeah,
shit because of the bankruptcies that he had, but he did it as a business move. So
yeah.
is he is he a failed businessman, or is he strategically using the law to save himself money and to save
No,
himself
if you,
conflict?
I'll tell you a perfect reason why he's not. If you were a failed businessman, then your businesses would have failed and Trump Tower would have been closed. None of that has happened.
Right,
When
right.
you're a failed business person, that means you no longer have any businesses. You don't have
Mhm,
anything going for you. Your family is completely broke. There's nothing, you have nothing. So there are definitely like strategies and moves that I think that like, especially with taxes, the average person doesn't understand, because let's be real, more than 50% of this country, people don't even have $1,000 in
mhm.
their
Let me
security
paint the
fund. Yeah, so it's like for us to sit here, it's kind of like what my, not to compare it, but this is kind of like what my perspective is with how I look at religion and God. I can't begin to understand God, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to, look at what I have around me. But I am, and this is just a comparison, but it's the same thing with anybody in the business world, the Patrick Bet Davids, the Donald Trumps, these people who have made empires. I have not done that. So I
mhm.
cannot sit here and say I know for a fact, oh, he doesn't know shit because he went bankrupt X amount of times. I don't know what that world looks like. That may be a good thing. I have no clue. Like, you know what I
That's
mean?
been a huge talking point with the Democratic side. It's like, oh, he's a failed businessman. He's gonna bankrupt our country. But bankruptcies was literally implemented as a business move
Correct. To
to
protect you.
save to protect you.
Yeah.
And he's done it on several businesses.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that I just think it's interesting. I don't know if you got to see this at all. But this guy's been walking around with, I want to say it was probably the day, they cut ties. Is it on the drive? Excuse me. The
Which one?
timeline,
Timeline for the. Oh
the
no, I sent
Twitter
it to your
beef.
email. I sent it to your email.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you
Well, he
got to see
looks
this,
so
but
bad.
well, he has a black eye, and nobody knows where he
Yeah.
got the black eye from. And that black eye was, I think, 2 days before the Twitter beef happened. He spoke up about the big beautiful bill that Trump came out with, that proposed, and a lot of people, including Republicans, are against it because it'll bring, I think it's either 5 or 10 trillion. It's going to add trillion, 5 or 10 trillion dollars. I want to say it's five, a debt in the next 10 years in the country, which is, I think it's only in debt in our interest alone. So it's a
Yeah.
big, like, we're gonna feel the pain of this bill for the next 10 years. So Elon Musk
Yeah.
spoke up about how it's not a big beautiful bill. It's gonna affect the American people. But nobody knows where this black guy came from. And he was at the press conference at the Oval Office with the black eye. People are just
Oh
talking about it.
my God.
So there's some serious beef going on. We don't know what's really happening. And the reason I asked what are your thoughts about it was because, do you think there's something behind bigger? I mean, the dude's walking around with a black eye. He turned against, I mean, he literally said single-handedly the most incriminating thing against the president of the United States. He called him a pedophile. Elon Musk, who's the
Yeah.
probably one of the most powerful people in the world, one of the richest people in the world with 220 million followers. on Twitter called the United States of America a pedophile. Something's got to be going on. And if that's the case,
Yeah.
release the files.
Yeah.
Release the
But
files.
that's again going back to what I originally said. I don't think he has any access to these files in any regard. So him saying that, it would.
Remember, he had hackers though. He had those young guys working on
Yeah,
Doge. Who knows? Well, I'm glad you
that's
brought that
true.
up because Kash Patel, who's the director of the FBI, I still am a fan of Kash, but I was a huge Cash fan before his confirmation as the director of the FBI because he blew the
Yeah.
whistle on Russiagate because he was
Mhm.
on Trump's team in 2016. So he was just like, "This is a hoax. This is all fake. Hillary Clinton started this bullshit. It's not real." He shed
Yeah.
light on the January 6 Sixers and the FBI assets that were part of that, and
Yeah.
he shed light on the Hunter Biden laptop. So
Yeah.
he is America first, this guy. So now
Yeah.
he's the FBI director. We kind of made fun of him. I don't know if we made fun of him or we were going to talk about it. We did, I don't remember. But he had that interview with Dan Bongino, who I also love, who's the deputy director of the FBI. And it looked
Mhm.
like a hostage video when they were talking about like, oh, Epstein killed himself, and they're all kind of like, do you remember that video?
No, I think you told me about it though.
So basically, they're like, no, we saw the files. Epstein killed himself. When prior to them being confirmed as the director and deputy director of the FBI, they were like, we're not going to put this to bed because he did not kill himself. So now they're privy
Yeah.
to that information. But bringing that up, he was just on the Joe Rogan show in real time as the tweet happened. But he was talking about the first thing that they spoke about was actually no when Jamie, I believe is the producer of the Joe Rogan show, was like, oh, since you guys are talking, there's been some news breaking news that Elon Musk tweeted blah blah blah. Immediately Cash Patel's like, I don't want anything to do with that, like, don't mind, just happening in real time as they're filming. But Joe
Yeah.
Rogan did ask him, would he be privy to that information? And Cash was
Mm.
pretty much like, I don't know how he would have access to the Jeffrey Epstein files. So it goes to
That's
what
a
you're
good
saying.
point.
It's to what you're
Yeah.
saying, like he doesn't have access to that. But then I'm like, my tinfoil hat goes to, well, he did have hackers on the Doge team. Maybe he
Yeah.
did in real time right now. He did delete the post, Elon. He took
Mhm.
it down. He wants to meet with Trump and speak to him. Trump does not want to meet with him. Trump's like, not right now. We need to take a break. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about that tweet?
No, not necessarily. It's just it's interesting because I didn't even think of the possibility of like hackers. Like that didn't even cross my mind. But maybe that's
Because
we're talking about
because
the
I had
richest man in the world who has resources out the hoo ha. Like he,
yes. With that being said, also a
yeah,
richest man in the world that lied about being this gamer on this.
the
Remember that
Diablo game.
the
Yeah,
Diablo game, saying that he's the number one gamer in the world. Right? It was in the world or in the country. I think it was the world. It was like a big deal.
yeah, yeah,
And he was paying some nerd to do it for him. I'm sorry, not a nerd, some gamer to do it for him. He was lying about it.
yeah,
I feel like Elon has the ability to be like to throw a tantrum, a grown ass man
yeah,
tantrum. And I feel like
yeah,
that's what happened. But my tinfoil hat in me, the person in me with,
yeah.
my first question is, what are they distracting us from if it's not true?
Right. Yeah.
Because if it is true, then the Epstein files have to come out. I personally think it's not gonna come out for 60 years. I have a time stamp of 60 years. By that time, we'll all be gone. By that time, all those guys will be dead. Nobody's gonna get,
Yeah.
Trump. We'll find out. Our kids will find out, like, oh shit, they were right. Donald Trump was on the list, or oh shit, Donald Trump wasn't on the list. Um,
Yeah.
so with that being said, is this a distraction? So then I go down
Yeah.
the rabbit hole of what's in mainstream media, what's going on in headline news, and I feel like there haven't been a lot of emphasis, and I'll segue to this, or talks about how Ukraine this past weekend, so not today, not this weekend, today's Sunday, but last weekend,
Yeah. Hmm.
bombed several nuclear bombers that belong to Russia that caused billions of damages, like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And allegedly, Trump is saying, or the Trump administration is saying that The United States didn't know what was happening, that it was coming, that they were going to do that. So
Yeah.
now you have Ukraine, who had the balls, right, to bomb the warheads of the man that could single-handedly destroy the globe. Who
Mm-hmm.
authorized that and why? I'm gonna listen
Yeah.
to your thoughts. I'm just gonna turn my camera off real quick because my dog is chewing on something that I don't want him to chew on.
Oh, hi everyone. Um, so when it comes to that, I mean, it kind of my response kind of encapsulates everything that we're talking about right now, and it kind of simmers down to this point. How do we trust anything that the government says? Like any form of government, foreign, domestic, whatever. How do we begin to like trust anything? Because that was something I wanted to say as well in the last in our last topic involving Elon and Trump. I think the reason we have such a hard time, not all of us, because there are people that definitely just pick a side, and they stick to it. Um, but for people like you and me who are thinkers and like we're wondering all the time, it's hard because it's like we've it's kind of been instilled in us, and not because of our own fault, but because of all of the things that we've seen all forms of government do that's just
Right.
shitty. It's like, how do we begin to trust any narrative? How do I know that we had no idea that that was going to happen? How do we know that Cash Patel isn't going to find Trump in these files and try to protect him any way he can? How do we begin to trust? That's my thing. And I guess there's no clear cut answer to that. You know what I mean? It's just I have such a distrust in the media. I have such a distrust in our government.
People.
I have with people. Yeah, that's why I stay my ass home. I don't. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's so hard to answer these questions because it's like the bottom line is I don't trust any of it or any of them. Specifically because where my views are for like the bigger picture of everything. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm watching a puppet show.
It's like a
And I
circus.
don't it reminds me of the In Sync music video where it was the
Mm-hmm.
chick. Just like, it's
Bye,
like,
bye, bye.
yeah, who's the chick? I don't know. But it's
Yeah.
like, that's my problem. And it seems like a cop out to stop thinking. But that the problem is if it makes me not stop thinking, like, okay, what
Right.
is the bigger agenda? What is the bigger picture? What are they? And when I say they, I call them the shadow people because we have no idea who's actually running shit anymore.
Or the
Um,
shadow government. Yeah.
the shadow government, yeah, it's like there's no more talks about the deep state. Trump, I feel like he went in with like these good intentions, and then once he actually stepped foot into the government, it's like you realize like this has been a formula for longer than he's been alive, and you cannot bring this down. So now you got to play their game, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. And to add to that, or to piggyback on that, I believe that his first term in 2016, he was surrounded by a lot of people that you know um, didn't have his back or support him. And I talked
Yeah.
about this. I don't know on what episode, but I did talk about how Barack Obama told Trump in the excuse me, in the interim of their transition of power. He
Mhm.
told Trump that he needed to be careful with two people. Those are the two people that he needed to be worried about. And the first one was Kim Jong Un of North Korea. Makes sense,
Mhm.
right? Dictator. But then he said General Flynn, which
Mhm.
is like the most American patriotic QAnon, by the way, supporter.
Mhm.
Say no, there's a bigger establishment, there's a shadow government, and the reason he had a falling out with Barack Obama was kind of similar to what JFK went through with the CIA with Operation Northwoods.
Mhm. Mhm.
General Flynn's like, we're not doing this. He was a high ranking. He was at the highest that he could be in the military, and well respected in the military community. And for Barack Obama to tell Trump he's your biggest threat,
Yeah.
he fired General Flynn.
Mhm.
There's a documentary that I encourage people to watch. I think it's on Hulu. Actually, it's on Amazon, I believe, on Prime. on General Flynn, his family, his upbringing, and exactly what happened and what transpired. I think
Yeah.
he received. I think he went to prison or was accused of something, and he was pardoned by Trump. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But General Flynn, he loves this country to this day more than anything in his life. And Barack
Yeah.
Obama in the transition said he's your biggest. Now, what happened with Operation Northwoods with John F. Kennedy? Operation Northwoods, we wanted to have war with Cuba. So they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
essentially um, create a white flag situation, or I'm sorry, not a white flag, a false flag,
False flag.
bomb, yep, a false flag, bomb airliners and blame it on Cuba. And John F. Kennedy was like, unbeknownst to him, that the CIA, it's a dark government, what shadow government in
Giving
itself.
9/11. That's what it sounds like.
Right. He said, we're
Yeah.
not doing that. We're not going to do that. And they wanted that done. And a lot of speculation, the CIA along the side with the mob, the mafia, the Italian mafia, because they very, Michael Francis, shout out. I love your podcast. Well-known mob, member of I forgot the family, but super known in New York. Did time, 7 years, found God, gave his life to God. He's a podcaster now. He has like 2 million followers. He's awesome. He talks about,
Mm-hmm.
yes, the CIA did in fact request our help. Not specifically with the John F. Kennedy, because that was not around that time, but just basically proving that if they asked for our help now, of course they did it in the 60s. Of course they did it with Operation Northwest. So it is a known fact that the CIA is implanted in Hollywood and in the mafia
Yeah.
and the mob. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, those were my thoughts on that. I feel like another thing that I've seen online that people have just been like, oh, if Trump was on the files, the Democrats would have released it in the beginning and he
It's
would have
not
never served as
true.
president.
It's not
I don't
true.
believe that either. Because
No.
if those files are
Everyone would be involved. There'd be too many names. Look to
but it'll affect
yeah.
the Democratic Party as well.
Yeah,
So
that's what
you
I'm
can't
saying. Yeah.
wholeheartedly say like, oh no, if it's true, the Democrats would have been done that to take him down. I don't believe
Yeah.
that because
It's
who else's
the
name is on
example
that?
you gave the other day was perfect. If you and I both committed a crime together, we're neither one of us are snitching on each other. Like it's just it's
It's like we know where the dead bodies are buried.
yeah,
So I'm not
yeah.
saying nothing.
I ain't saying
So
shit
because
neither. That means I know something.
exactly. And so
Yeah.
I think I think it goes back to saying with certain Trump supporters, they're so fanatical and so radical that they're like, it's not true. It's not true. I can't say it's true or if it's not true. I don't know. I haven't seen the files, but you
Yeah.
can't say that Democrats would have been, you can't make that wholehearted statement saying the Democrats
Yeah.
would have been released it because who knows on the Democratic Party who else would have been on it? The
Right.
Clinton, the Clinton has he actually so another thing is that people were saying is that if we go back to the tweet, do I still have it up where he says he's in the file? People are like, well, he didn't specify which files because he is on the flight log, except that
Mhm.
the trajectory of that aircraft was going to Palm Beach, Florida, not
Mhm.
to little what is it, Little St. James. So
Yeah.
like people think that this is a game. Again, going back to the art of the deal that Trump
Mhm.
wrote. Oh, this is just a game. They're doing this to make the Democrats demand like a mind flip. If we say that Trump
Yeah.
is, they're gonna demand them to release them. When we release them, the truth will come out. I also think that that's like people watch way too many movies. If in
Yeah.
fact that was the case, kudos to the art of the deal. You know what you're doing,
Yeah.
sir. Is it? I don't know. I don't know when it comes to that. If I mean, Trump said it himself at the last State of the Union when he said, "I could find the cure to the most deadliest disease, and the Democratic Party wouldn't give me credit. I could find the
Yeah.
cure to cancer, and they don't care. It's because they hate him so much."
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know if it's all very interesting. I don't know if it's a colluded intent on both parties to make the Democrats what is the word I'm trying to say, demand the release of the files,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
if that were the truth, that's the greatest movie we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I tell you you're on the list, so now I have to prove to the American people I'm not on the list, so let's release the list. Like it would be a kind of like a mind fuck, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't think
Because
that'd be
again,
sensible. I don't think that'd be sensible.
exactly. I think
Because
that
then at the
also
end of the
goes
day, they could redact Donald Trump's name anyway if it was on it.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I mean, we, you know, again, in the reason you follow him is because he speaks on the beliefs that you have for this country right now. It could be a completely different person you're following based off of the beliefs. It's not you're following this person because he's this person.
Right.
And the thing is that the people who follow so blindly, like I know they have this saying for the Democrats, the vote blue no matter who thing. I don't know what's
Yeah.
the opposite for the other side, but um when you do that, that means you are openly and like willingly accepting the sins and the flaws of this person, and you're going to not, judge them based off of those flaws. And for people like us right now, we still have a huge mistrust in government. Like
Absolutely.
again, Cash Patel can release those files today with a whole bunch of shit that's white out, or with AI, things
Redacted,
could
yeah.
be changed. And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't think we're ever going to get the full truth when it comes to this, because it's such a big thing, and there was so many different intelligence agencies that were involved in
You're absolutely right.
Epstein and all of this blackmail. It goes beyond just releasing a series of files. Plus, by the way, we're not gonna get the full scope, because according to what Bondi said, so much in the files are videos and pictures of the sexual abuse of very young children. So there might be files not even implement or implicating these people, because it's on video, and the only way you're going to be able to implicate them is because it's on video. What is a I You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, I'm not going to see it with my own eyes, so how am I ever going to know it's true? We're never going to know what's actually true and what's not.
Well, essentially, also, what I believe to be true also is, even if they try to provide, are you producing child
Mhm.
sexual exploitation by, I think the
Mhm.
American people do want to know the truth. Um, it'll be the destruction of both parties. It'll be the destruction,
Yeah.
but I don't see it as the destruction of both parties. I see it
Yeah.
as the destruction of bad people.
I do
Like,
too.
it doesn't matter. Like, if Barack Obama is on it, oh my God, then he goes to prison. If
Yeah.
Donald Trump is, then he go. I don't. People need to be. I just feel like, because we're hiding, because essentially I feel like that's what they're doing for so many years.
Yeah.
Think
Mhm.
about it. When he got that sweet deal, that sweetheart deal in 2000, was it 2009 in Florida? They said, I think it was Acosta. I don't remember his first name. He said, I was told to take it easy on him because he's
He's
intelligence.
intelligence.
What
Mhm.
intelligence? Nobody knew. Is it Mossad? Is it CIA? Nobody knew. But that's what he was
Mhm.
told. He got the direction from the higher ups. That's what he did.
Mhm.
It wasn't until Vic, Virginia, which, shout out, we said we're gonna say her name every episode.
Every
Virginia, rest in
episode.
peace. Yep, Isaac
Yes.
Cappy, we're still fighting your fight. Um,
Yeah.
she came out, and the Trump administration, like, yeah, we're gonna go full head on with this. He was
Mhm.
incarcerated and went to actual jail under the Trump administration. Does that
Mhm.
make it? Does that clear his name? Absolutely not. That doesn't clear his name. But what it does do, it shows that things are happening. Again, if it's
Mhm.
on it, he's got to go. It is what it is. I just don't think that there were the same thing with the JFK files, the same thing with the MLK. I know that they released the JFK, I believe it was. It was shit that we already knew. It was it appeared to be two shooters. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk about MK Ultra. MK Ultra is a thing
Mhm.
that was utilized by German scientists in this nation, with Charles Manson being
Yes.
freaking patient zero with it. Um,
Yeah.
People have to do their research, and people just think it's crazy that mind control programs actually exist.
But that's exactly why I had a hard time. Like, I don't anything produced by any type of mainstream like Netflix or Hulu, when it comes to these topics, I don't have a want to watch these things, because it's like they're going to water it down for the general public to understand. So they're not going to talk about these operations. They're not going to talk about the fact Pam Bondi, okay? That was the first time. You didn't even tell it to us. You told it to a nanny at a restaurant, whatever. But that was the
Right.
first time somebody
Yes.
of your level actually admitted that there
The
were young
Attorney General for
children
the United
involved.
States of America, the AG.
Yeah.
God, sorry.
The
Yep.
first person to publicly admit that there were very young children. It wasn't admitted in the court. I think the youngest that they said in Ghislaine Maxwell's case was like 14. Nobody wanted to talk about the infants and the young babies and children that were being taken from these other countries with the promise of being models, or these parents that couldn't afford to have their children being taken and trafficked to this island. Nobody talked about it, and that's why I
Nope.
have a hard time. Yes, give voices to the people that are still alive that can talk, but the fact that there was so much censorship, there's censorship around MK Ultra, there's
Yep.
censorship around the satanic ritual abuse, there is censorship when it comes to the infants and babies involved in these things. All these babies don't have a voice because they were born into this. It's like they didn't exist. So I have a very hard time. That's another reason why I have a hard time with the government. I'm like, listen, when it comes to the whole thing about Virginia, the fact that
Rest in
Epstein
peace,
even,
Virginia.
yes, the fact that Epstein went to prison or to jail in 2019 or whatever, it was a big deal. But in the same respect, the fact that nobody in our current government, nobody has given her any type of rest in peace or
Her
anything like
flowers, yeah.
that when she was targeted twice in a month, that fucks with me. It's
Yeah.
like you used her testimony, okay, to get this guy in jail in the first place, to drain the swamp, to do all these things that we need done, and there was no recognition for her passing. Like, it just, that is gonna bother me. How many days has it been? How many weeks has it been?
Yeah, it's about a month now, no more.
More. It's astonishing to me. It's just, that's where my mistrust lies, and it might seem petty, it might seem small to some people. I understand there's huge problems we have in this country, but the fact that almost a million children a year go missing in this country is like
You're
the
right.
silent it is like the silent pandemic, and nobody is talking about it.
I know.
And it's
I think
disturbing.
so you were right. It was April 25th. I apologize. Virginia, rest in peace. We're
April
doing your work.
25th.
We're doing your work. We're trying to do Isaac's work. Um,
Yes.
you're right. It was April 25th, 2025, and she hasn't been given her flowers. And you're right, 800,000 kids a day. I think we did the math and it was like every like minute and 16 seconds or something
Yes.
crazy. A child goes
Yeah.
missing. There's no bodies being found. There's no corpses, no bones. Where are these kids? These kids are being
Yeah.
trafficked. These kids are being abused. These kids are being sold on the market and nobody talks about it.
And
Which,
that's just here. That's just the number that we know about. That's not even including the children that are getting pregnant
oh
in
yeah,
these
the
rings, and they're having
mhm.
children.
Yep. They're literally breaded. They're created to produce, to reproduce.
There's a channel that, I mean, it might be hard for you to watch because they're uncensored, so with their words they're very they're on Rumble. The guy's a Trump supporter. You would like him. He's like one of those that he's kind of a character.
Mhm.
um he's
Yes,
young though.
tell me
He's like
that.
20. Yeah, he's like 23, but he goes after predators online. But he does it in a way where he gets them to admit
Oh,
to
yes.
trading, yeah, child pornography. And he literally gets these people, and again, I understand that having the freedom of speech and the being able to be anonymous online is a big thing, but it does come with really negative effects because, like,
Mm.
Telegram, like 90% of what Telegram is being used for is child
Transactional.
pornography.
It's
Yeah.
all transactional, yeah.
Yeah, and he's had people admit to buying like 2 to 3 terabytes worth of photos and videos of babies and infants that the parents are taking. That I just, it boggles my mind. Like, this is like we had the war on drugs, right? Remember all of that? We
Mhm.
need the war on this. Like, there needs to be an uproar because this affects everybody. This really does.
Do you feel like we'll ever in our generation, I know the answer to this question, how I feel about it. Do you feel, however, in our generation, will we ever have leaders in this country, even on the Senate floor,
Hmm.
um, that their priority is to save the children? I
I
haven't
feel
really
like
seen any congressional who's really been the advocate for this besides the survivors and themselves bringing
so.
this
This
to light.
is it's scary because, and my answer is a complicated one, so I apologize.
I
But
want to
this is
know.
why I loved Trump in his first run, because as soon as he sat down in the Oval Office, his one of the first, it was one of many, but it was one of the first executive orders was to go after child trafficking. Remember,
I think he
during
arrested like
his,
147,000 or something like that.
I was gonna say that there were so
Something.
many pedophile rings um uh that got like, what's the word, cracked down on under his
Mhm.
administration. It's interesting to me though that I understand, the national debt and everything, and going after, um like these people coming in from other countries that are doing illegal things. I understand that is a huge thing, but I feel like the Trump that I was following so wholeheartedly, because this was a movement I could get behind,
Mhm.
he's fallen so far from that. And it's
Yeah.
funny because I feel like a lot of people like Trump now because he's calmed down the way he speaks and everything.
Yeah.
I will take the ugly. I will take you being an asshole and a dick and being crazy if this is what you were getting behind. But I think he had so much pushback because, again, the higher levels of government, the shadow government, lobbyists, all of these people, they are directly involved in this shit. So it's like you're gonna have to tone it down and you're gonna have to do something else. And I feel like maybe he saw some things that he got scared of, and he's like, well, let me not touch this anymore and go worry about the national deficit, go worry about other issues. I
Yeah,
just,
I agree. I just think that the crazy China version of
yeah,
Trump, it didn't get him elected in 2020, which I'm actually happy
yeah,
that he wasn't in office in 2020 because he's coming now trying to. The thing is that one of the reasons, and I say it all the time, the main reason I supported Trump was because of our foreign adversaries and
right.
the countries that hate the US, like
Mm-hmm.
the CCP, China. And if we're
Mm-hmm.
not, people look at Putin like he's the worst of the worst. He's modern day Hitler. He hates people. He's a dictator. But it
Yeah.
goes back as simple to the simple saying of keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. No,
Right.
is it
Yeah.
backwards? Is it keep your friends close?
Yeah. No, you got it right. Mm-hmm.
Keep your friends closer, your enemies closer, because
Mm-hmm.
he has all the power to wipe out the globe. So I think
Right.
he's very strategic in a way where, he a lot of people give him heat because he said that he can stop the Ukraine Russian war on day one. It's been 150 days, I think. How many days? Let's ask ChatGPT. How many days has Trump been in office? So he gets a lot of heat for that because he said, "Oh, on day one I can stop the war," and it's
Yeah.
not true. I think that was. I don't think he's. I know he said it a million times, but I don't think anybody um can say that that's an actual thing that can happen within one day.
Yeah.
In 20 lately ChatGPT has been doing some weird stuff,
Yeah.
and I screenshotted it because it said currently Donald Trump is not the president as of 2025.
Oh, Jesus.
I screenshotted on my phone, but okay. So he completed. Okay, I want to know how many days
That's
he's
so
been in
weird.
office. It was very weird. We'll talk about it on the phone, you and I, later on. So
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT won't even tell me how many days he's had in office. See, I did it again. I just started it. Whatever. He said day one that the war's gonna end, didn't war. So I think it didn't end. So I think that he definitely laid off the gas rather, on the human trafficking and the sex trafficking of children,
Mm-hmm.
and started focusing on our number one issue for a lot of other Americans
Yeah.
is the immigration, the proxy wars. Right now, we're
Yeah.
literally at the brink of a World War III if communication is not being had. If
By
talks
the
are not being
way,
had. Mhm.
You know what? I was trying to look up what you were looking up, and even general, like the Google AI says it's unavailable for this search. So regular Google AI is even saying like they won't even say how many days Trump has been in office. But something that I noticed, you said Virginia passed on the 25th of April, right? His 100 days was around that time. His first 100 days, April 29th
Oh, okay.
was his 100. I just see,
So
I
he's
don't. Mm.
so I think that his can you I'm a little far. Can you hear me good like this or no?
I can hear you, yeah. Hmm.
Um, I think that he got a lot of heat for his first 100 days. But look at the route our country's in now, and I wanted to like segue into like in real time right now there are riots happening in LA. That's the shit that he's dealing with. So
Yeah, I
it's
know.
unfortunate that he's not on it like he was his first term, but my hope is to have a candidate that will focus on that because I think, like I said on my other video, shout out to my Facebook friend who's a hater. I think it's a very, very, very bipartisan issue.
It
If we
is,
had a
yeah.
candidate that would say, I want to go after the human trafficking ring, you have my full support. I'm not going to not
Yeah,
support you because you're a Democrat or you're liberal. I'm going to support you
yeah.
because that's what I believe needs to happen in this country.
You know what I
Um,
think that he should have done? And maybe somebody can do this. Listen, I'm not taking any credit. I don't care who does it. Somebody needs to do it. The same way that he created Doge. Maybe have a separate task force specifically for this.
agree. That's not a bad. That's you should be president.
Like I just, when
There's
it
little
comes to
kids
the
being tortured and sexualized and abused as we are recording this pod.
but the thing that really bothers me about this is when we're talking about like spiritual warfare and everything, the powers that be, this is by design. Like, that's the crazy thing. I think there is a huge reason why for many, many, many years, nobody, no news outlets, nobody was talking about the human trafficking of children. I think one of the first movies to ever bring up the topic was Taken. And we were all fucking baffled. Like, this doesn't happen. There's
Yeah,
auctions. What are you talking about? This cannot be real. I think
I want to
that,
rewatch it.
oh God, I can't. I there are certain movies that my brain chemistry has been altered a little too much.
Which, by the way, anybody who's watching this, go watch Out of the Shadows. Out of the
Out of the
Shadows gives
shadows.
a brief explanation on or interpretation of people who are actually in the industry in Hollywood and what they have seen. You can't find it on YouTube. You will find it on Rumble. I would love to add the Rumble link on the description, but I'm pretty sure they will take the video down, like our video, our recording.
But you know what we could do? Um, Possibly check the link in the description just in case. But there's a way that if we put like a space between like the www dot, the name of the website, and then another space after the .com, YouTube will not recognize. So if we put like a space in there and just tell the audience to just remove the
Type it
space,
up. Type it up.
yeah, yeah, to like copy it, put it in the your Safari or your
I'll try it with a short. I'll do a short video and say, "Hey, just try this out. Please watch this video and let's
yes,
bring it
yeah.
back. Let's bring Pizzagate back. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all these things."
It's on
Um,
Tubi. It says, by the way, it's also on Tubi. Out of the
is it?
Shadows. If this is the right, did it come out in 2020?
I believe so.
Oh, right here, Out of the Shadows, the man behind the Steel Dossier. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, that's something else then.
Let me
Okay.
see. I feel like that's what they do also. They'll have movies with same titles that mean different things. Remember this guy's
Yes.
movie? Gray State, is it called?
Gray State, yeah.
They completely made a whole nother movie with the same thing. So when you're searching for the child abuse, sex trafficking movie, you're not finding it.
Oh, you know what's so crazy
That's
too?
not it.
No. But talk
The
about the
one on
Steel
Tu
Dossier, which is interesting.
the one on Tubi says when their baby becomes tortured by a supernatural entity, they must stop the dark force.
That's not it. Um, Very similar to what we're talking about. We're trying to stop the dark
Kinda.
forces, right?
It's on
Um,
Rumble.
it's on Rumble. I'll make sure to look that up. I just I feel like, yes, everybody should have the things that they're. I mean, my mother-in-law told me in a very beautiful way. Everybody's going to vote based off of what is important to them. That's why everybody's going to vote differently, which I respect. But when it comes to the trafficking of children for sexual or ritualistic purposes, I feel like it's every child of every nationality, every color, every religion. It involves everybody.
I'm with you
That's
on
the
that.
thing. So I feel like that's something that we can all stand behind and something we shouldn't fucking be fighting over. And that, for the most part, we're not fighting over. We're fighting over which
It's crazy.
leaders are involved. We all know that this is a fucking problem. We
Agreed.
just don't know where to start.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with
the
you.
issue.
It's unfortunate, but hopefully these little videos that we do would, even if it drops an ounce of curiosity to anybody that's watching them or friends of ours or people that we're sharing the videos with, even if it um invokes an ounce of curiosity, just do your own research and just go down the rabbit hole because it's a
Yes.
lot that we've been lied to about.
I think that's also, unless you had something else you want to talk about, that was actually a very good segue into the um the idea that we
Yeah, no, go
that we
ahead.
have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's all I wanted to say. There was a video I wanted to show about Cash Patel's interview. I'm not gonna show it. Maybe we can show it next time. It's basically saying that when he first came as the director, he found a room from the previous director of all these hidden attempt to be
Yes.
hidden files, documents, videos, and nobody knows what they are and why they were hidden. But we'll talk about that another time. But go ahead, let's talk about
It's
it.
interesting that they were hidden and not destroyed. That's interesting.
Unless he thought that Kamala Harris was going to get voted in and he was going to remain the director of the FBI.
That's true too.
My opinion.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to clean out my desk if I think that my boss is going to keep me in this position. If a new boss
that's
comes in and
true.
gets rid of me and I didn't get clean out my desk, they're probably going to see all the shit that I left behind. I don't know. That's it's pure
But something's
speculation.
as big as that, you know what I mean? Like to put myself in these people's shoes. Why keep it? Why keep it if it's
They're
gonna?
still going through it. So who knows? It might not be anything. It
Yeah,
might be something, but they're still going through it. So that's crazy.
that's so wild. Um, so just to segue, I feel like all of our videos have a theme. We're talking about saving the children. So I think it would be a really good idea to start a separate series. I mean, obviously, our podcast, we talk about everything that's happening in the current realm, the current atmosphere of
Both
our
political and
world.
pop culture. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we should take it back to the beginning. I think we kind of started to do that in the very beginning of our podcast when we started talking about Isaac Happy. But I think we should dive into what was going on 2015, 2016, that potentially led to Trump being voted in office, and what was going on in the background, and kind of speculate because I have some ideas on who QAnon could have been,
Mm-hmm.
um, or how they were initiated, so to say. So I think we should dive into that, kind of
So
do a
excited.
series.
So
Me
excited.
too. What should we call it? Do you have an idea?
Um, we'll come up with something and not talk about it now, so it can be a series. But I'm excited because it's something that we both are super passionate about, and we're super kind of took us different rabbit holes as far as like I
Yes.
didn't really know the severity of the human trafficking that happens in the world. Let's start there.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
also didn't know that the United States was the main hub for it.
Yeah.
So if we can start a series from the origin of how we were exposed to like what's really going on and who exposed on the whistleblowers, I think maybe we can serve as a not a vessel, but I don't know what the word would be, but we can serve as a starting point for other people to start going down the
Foundation.
rabbit hole. A
Yeah.
foundation, perfect. Thank you. As a
Hmm.
foundation for where you and I were back in that time.
Yeah.
Because of the
Hmm.
truth, if there's anything constant, is that it's still going on. It's not
Yeah.
stopping.
No.
So the more there are actual people that I know that don't believe that the human trafficking is that crazy in the United States. That politicians are not involved. That Hollywood is not some sacrificial, satanic, ritualistic entity, area, place, whatever you want to call it. There's people that are like, no, like, but how do you and I get here, and how do we set the foundation for others? Not to indoctrinate
Yeah.
others, or not I wouldn't even say educate because we're not professors, right? But
No.
just to get your critical thinking ball rolling. Do your own
Yeah.
research, but this is what I found with my research. What did you find with your research?
Yeah.
There has to be a starting point, and I think that once you get that ball rolling, you as an individual will have discernment into do your own research and believe in what you think is the truth. Truth
Right.
seekers. That's what
Exactly.
we are. We're truth seekers. So I'm
Yes.
excited.
Me too. I mean, it again, like you said it perfectly. We're not educators. We're not here to educate you. But I think it would be really good for us too because I haven't dived into this since that time frame. So it's been damn near 10 years. That's so crazy.
And
Um,
just like that. Yeah.
and just like that, so much has happened. And it's like I feel like going back into this with eyes that are a little bit older and a little bit wiser is going to be a really big, I feel like my commentary on it is going to mean a little bit more than it did back then.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah. I
you
agree with
know,
that.
so I think that I can't wait to get that started. I'm going to be up in our Google Drive
I'm
putting it
excited. I'm
together.
excited.
Yeah,
We're gonna get called names. We're gonna get. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna order on Amazon a tinfoil hat, or I could just make one out of tinfoil, because people are not ready. People don't want to see it. All we need. I'll be honest, and I'll say I'll end it with this for this particular topic, or for me
Mhm.
as my conversation.
Yeah, sure.
I hated Trump, didn't vote for him in 2016, couldn't stand him. It wasn't until my twin sister said, just do your own research. And I said, what the hell does this, what in the hills have I, what does she know about Trump? She doesn't know shit about Trump. And
Yeah.
when I went down the rabbit hole myself, I tried to have, and I've said it before in one of the beginning podcast episodes, I try to have grace and look into both administrations. Excuse me,
Mhm.
the Joe Biden administration and the Trump administration. And when I went down the rabbit hole, what I found was that my beliefs and my what I believe to be like the core of the person that I am aligned more with him than with Biden. Prior to
Mhm.
that, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea of the control of the media. I had no idea
Yeah.
that CNN lies. I had no idea that they're all we're gonna dive into a lot. And I'm excited about it because if I can even if I convince you to be more of a Democrat or more of a Republican or more of a no, even if I make you think like it's really not happening, I just want to get you to think.
Yeah.
Even if I make you think or wholeheartedly believe that it's all AI, it's all fake, just get the ball rolling and just have discernment yourself, not because you're seeing shit on the news, if that
That's
makes
very
sense.
true. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more powerful than the free will to question your own beliefs. There's nothing more
Oof,
powerful than that.
absolutely. I agree.
It's just having the capability like to open your mind to things. And like I've said it multiple times on the podcast, when I started to really understand what was going on as far as the ritualistic child trafficking and the pedophilia in Hollywood, I would literally be in the bedroom of my little apartment in the dark. It's not good, but I'd be drinking because like I'm not. My mind is like I can't take this, and I would be literally praying to God out loud on my knees. What is happening? Because I felt like trying to understand something, so it's dark. I think that's why a lot of people choose like it's not happening. I got my swimming pool in the back, I got a nice car, I got a good job. What are we talking about here? It's like I understand what it is to want to just be in your safe haven in your bubble, but the reality is you can be in your safe haven in your bubble. It doesn't mean that this shit is not happening. It's happening. And
One
protect your
of
kids. Protect your
protect,
kids, you
and I
guys.
think
Ugh,
you're
it's
coming, and
crazy.
I'm sorry that I interrupt you so much. I do apologize.
No. I ramble until I get my point across. So please, I understand.
I think you're coming from a point of being a mom where I'm coming from a point of not being a mom. And I personally know people in my life who don't have kids and have told me themselves that doesn't affect me directly. I'm not
That's
gonna,
good.
what I was told was ignorance is bliss. If I don't know about it, it's not gonna affect me, which is the truth. It's not gonna affect you if you don't know about it. But there's people that there's a community that you can reach out to, parents who don't think about what the effects of posting my child online could mean, could generate, can can provide a person to no, I don't want to say the word, but a predator to be intrigued on, oh, I didn't know you had a kid. Oh, he goes to this school. The importance of like safety and security of your family. So you can come from the perspective of a mom who lives a life where there's certain things that you don't do with your kid online and you don't whatever. And you could talk about that if you like. Whereas people like me that don't have children, just because I don't have children, I want to save them all.
Yeah,
So
it's
I think it's
true.
an important, there's a community of people that we can reach. And I guess also be able to provide information on how to be able to identify when there's predators around you, because they're around us all the time.
Yes.
I made that status on Facebook the other day, and I did it because I was upset with, not, I wasn't upset, but I was just like, how can people be so ignorant to what's happening? And a lot of people that I'm friends with keep posting the whole Donald Trump's on the list, Donald Trump's on the list, Donald Trump's on the list.
Yeah.
But I posted this. Let me see if it's still on it. I said, people out here idolizing man instead of God. Don't be mad when Barack's name gets exposed on that list. But most of y'all be covering up PDF files in your own family anyway. That was
It's
my status.
true.
That was
It's
my
the
status.
truth. I think that's why, like, I understand why it's such a touchy subject, and it's so weird, but I think even prior to, you know, learning about the human trafficking situation at the mass scale that it's happening at, it started to really click for me that almost every single person I knew has some type of story from their
Yeah,
childhood. It's everyone. And I'm like, this is disturbing that this is happening at such a record, in such record numbers, but it's so hush hush and it's so taboo, and we don't talk about it because it makes us uncomfortable.
it's true.
It's very, it's disturbing to me. And it's funny too that you mentioned the whole not posting your kids online. Before I ever even thought I was going to have a kid, I have a good friend that she never posts her kids online. And me and her, like, we stopped talking for a while. We reconnected. And I asked her about it. She was like, I don't, you know, that like 75% of the people that follow you, you don't know them in real life. I don't know these people. Or even the people that I do know, I don't know who they're sharing it with. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's, and again, going back to, so anybody in your family, close friends, like that. First of all, I think that the statistic says something like a majority of the children that do have a story, it's within the family or within like the family friends, because they have access to the child. You know what I mean? So it's like you never know. It could be the most normal, upstanding citizen, tax paying, law abiding. You never know who it is. And I am the type of person, I rather offend everybody than to repent and pray later and ask God, oh, please, heal my child. I rather you not like me. I
Yeah.
rather you hate me.
And I wish most parents were like that, but the truth of the matter is that there's not. And to sprinkle a little I don't know what the word is, but to sprinkle a little devil on that and what you're saying, you don't know who's watching your page. You don't know what the intent is. What about the people that are printing your kids' pictures and
Oh
sending
yeah.
those to inmates in prisons, in
Yeah.
jails? It's on the black market now. Oh man, this kid has
Yeah.
blue eyes, blonde hair, whatever their little shit is.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So I
Yeah.
think that there's a community that you can reach out to that probably never even thought about that. Like, oh my God, I have my kid's pictures online since the day he was born. I don't want to
Hmm.
do that anymore. Let me
Yeah.
move forward and not pull, so I think that it'll be a great
Yes.
series. I'm super excited. I can't wait to start thinking about
Me too.
names. And
Yes, me
we're
too.
gonna forever we're gonna forever shout out Virginia and Isaac, and
Hmm.
it's for them. I did, is there anything else you want to talk about? Because I know we're at 1:30 as far as how long we've been recording. I did want to show the Dave Portnoy
No,
video.
go ahead. Let's close out with that.
And also because you haven't seen it yet.
No. Mm-mm.
So Dave Portnoy.
You told me about this, and I'm ready to see it. I'm
My
down.
favorite is when I get your actual reaction to
My
videos
live
like that.
reaction to things. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody knows Dave Portnoy because he has millions of followers. He's the I think owner and creator of Barstools. But he kind of went a little batshit crazy the other day, and you and I were just talking about it, about how if you we talked about it last part too, the anti-Semitism, and you can't, if you have an opinion about Israel, some feel, note for the camera, some people feel that if you say anything about the Jewish community, that you're considered an anti-Semite. You know, we've seen Candace Owens go through it. We've seen little Greta Thunberg go through it. You've seen a bunch of people. We're not doing that. We love everybody. For, you know, the truth. It's fair to say we love everybody.
And again, we said this in, I think, the last pod, or maybe the one prior to that. Shout out to the Jews within the community that are calling out, you know,
Dave Smith. Shout out to Dave Smith.
Yes,
Even
because
Andrew
the only people that can really make a change within a community are people within that community. So,
agreed.
Go off.
So he's the owner of Barstools. He owns a couple bars, and I think we talked about a bar. One of his bars in Philadelphia, somebody purchased a bottle, and with the bottle comes the sign with the girls, and the sign said "fuck the," the JEWS, and a shitstorm happened. But on this podcast, they're talking about Jewish jokes, and I'm just gonna let you watch it, and then we'll see. I hope and pray to God that there's no commercials, because I haven't signed on to the premium.
Audio.
But I will, and I'll just share the audio. I'm going to, let me pause this. So we clearly had some technical difficulties here trying to play a video, but we are back on. Yes, going back to Dave Portnoy, I wanted to show you a video and get your reaction. So I'm going to press play. And the one in the middle, this guy, he's Portnoy. He's the owner and founder of Barstools. And this is Kirk. All right, let's go.
Nothing. Silence everything. What do you, every comedian, don't tell a joke about it. Because Dave, that's how the world works. I agree with you.
Go back to your question. When does freedom of speech impinge
on freedom
of religion?
Not mine. That was your question.
Answer it.
How many deaths?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer.
Like how in America, American citizens.
What's your answer to that question?
Now.
Okay, we're there.
Now.
So now what? So now what do we do?
So maybe you stop with the fucking Jew jokes and act like it's not a big deal when someone does fuck the Jews in a bar.
Or no, here's the thing. I'm with you 1,000% on that. You should have fucking kicked those people out. Of course you should.
I'm not talking about kicking them out. I'm talking about.
You want to go to jail? Like, what do you want? Like, those guys.
You are defending this guy Mick for what he said right after that happened. He's not anti-Semitic.
I'm not defending him. No,
if your brain goes in, I'm
not defending him, Dave. What I'm saying is, you should have him on here or somebody else like that and fucking fight with them, because then you have a conversation.
That's what this idiot wants.
Dave, these guys that wrote the thing at the bar, fuck the Jews, right?
Yes.
You're going to fucking fly them to Auschwitz. Some guy tweets at you something. You want to fucking... He's not...
Kirk, it was a bar I owned. It was a bar I owned.
They should have been kicked out. So, but my thing is...
No, it's not just kick out, Kirk. Are you ignoring what's going on in the world right now?
No, I'm not. What, Dave, what do you want to do with those guys? What do you want to do with those guys in the bar? Put them in jail for 50 years? Fine. I don't care.
I didn't say that. You're quite literally changing everything you say, Kirk. If you just want me to kick him out, not mention it, not care that this kid is anti-Semitic, shut up. If you just want me to ignore it,
don't tell me to shut up. Don't
shut the fuck up, you bald fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
How's that?
Oh, it's kill. I'll never recover from that, Dave. Go ahead, continue. I'll never recover.
Well, you're the one who big boss man, don't tell. I'll tell you, you work for me.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
You little bitch, you work for me.
Sure, you bet. For now,
oh, you
continue.
Don't? For now, quit. I don't care.
Is this show or not a show? Like, is this a show or not a show? Like, we can't have a conversation?
You're an idiot.
Okay, continue.
You're literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want right fucking now. That's
I think people should be allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking Jews have to be killed before you stop?
That I don't think.
What else? Where else is that happening with the religion or people?
I don't think those psychopaths. I'm with you. They're scumbags. They're the worst people on the earth. Should that?
You don't think it's all related?
But Dave, you're telling a comedian not to make a joke.
It's not a comedian.
I'm with you. But you said stop all jokes.
Jew jokes of that nature now.
We'll ban Jew jokes of that nature. We'll get the Constitution, we'll get Congress, and stop Jew jokes of that nature.
I'll go back to this.
Yeah.
When does freedom of speech impinge on freedom of religion.
I think freedom of speech should. I think freedom of speech is the most important thing in this country.
Okay, so people can go kill the Jews, and there's no responsibility if someone goes and kills Jews.
No, that's
not freedom of speech.
What the fuck?
No, but not
speech.
saying
Oh, sorry.
go kill Jews.
That's different. No. What do you mean?
You can say somebody should go kill Jews. You don't do it, but someone hears you and goes do it. You're fine with that?
If somebody says go kill Jews,
Yes.
no, that's different than telling. I thought we were talking about telling a joke. I thought we were talking about comedians.
They are all using semantics for anti-Semitism right now. And I can tell the difference because for 20 years of doing it, I've never mentioned it, Kirk.
No, and I said to you when this thing
So
happened a couple
how
weeks ago,
can you not realize we're in a different time right now?
I completely realize, and I'm sensitive to the fact that you're sensitive, and I feel bad.
No, you're not. You don't get it.
That's not true. I am sensitive to it. What I'm saying is it's a fine line. I think you would agree. I think you would agree. So maybe you don't. Then when you start harnessing free speech and what can be said and what can't be said.
I'm not saying throw any of these people in jail. You want me to give this kid a pass.
No. If you want, no. What I would like you to do, in my mind, this is why I pitched it to the producers, and you disagreed, and you are the boss. Like I said to you yesterday, it's your dime. You own the company. I thought it would be interesting to have somebody on who you disagree with, who I think at the end you wouldn't disagree with that much, have a conversation, which is what I thought you were trying to do. Hold on one second. Which I thought you were trying to do with bringing these guys to Auschwitz, trying to have a conversation. So you put a name in the face of somebody you disagree with and have an actual conversation.
That's what we need. More conversation, less censorship. What are your thoughts? Your face said it all.
If you hate chocolate, everybody, that means go blow up Hershey Park. That's what this man's mentality was. Like, I was like, huh? Like, if someone says fuck the Jews, that means you want to kill them. What? Like, I have met many racist people. I worked for one, okay, for a couple of years. Never once did I think this man was gonna kill me. Like, I just don't, like, I don't. Oh my God, that, you know what that was giving? You ever seen those memes where it's like, when you tell your mom as an adult, you set your boundaries, or you tell your mom about herself, and then it's like, well, I guess I'll go lay in the road and die. I'm such a terrible mother. That's what that was giving. I'm like, what is happening?
Literally. He lost his shit. He did put up on Instagram.
He got really nasty.
He's
really
a piece
nasty.
of, who would want to work for somebody like that?
He said, you bald bitch. It's like that. Okay, so I can't say fuck the Jews, but you can call me a bald bitch because I work for you. It's giving hypocrite.
So somebody did a breakdown, actually the PBD podcast, and then somebody else did a breakdown of his jokes back in the day of a woman. Actually, maybe I'll find that. Maybe we can. This is the guy that says Jews need to be protected with comedians. We're on the same page with that?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let's see if I find it. I should have done my research before because I didn't, but this guy went completely unhinged.
I need to know his sign. What's his name?
He made a complete. Oh, you know what? I found it. Here we go.
How do you spell his name?
So
what's his name?
Dave, and then Portnoy is Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy.
Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
I don't know.
He's an Aries.
I don't know what you feel about. I don't know if you're ready for this one.
Oh boy, here we go.
I hope I put the. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know.
Posted the following on your site. I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped.
Correct. I stand by that.
What the fuck? What? It was 12 seconds long. I didn't even have a minute to digest what the hell.
This guy's completely unhinged. He made another joke about
So even if it's not fuck the Jews, it's fuck this guy. Clearly, like at the very least, we can agree on that.
Yes. So now I just wanted to give you a little taste of what his response to the response that he's been getting.
Let's see. Is he crying like Diddy when the Cassie video came out? Let's see.
Well, I got to make sure the video is going to have audio. Yeah. So let's do it over. It's so crazy. Let me add the audio. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Quick. I got a conference, but this rant, I'm going viral per use, trending on Twitter. That's what this guy does. I open my mouth and it just goes everywhere. I know it, clip, that's the deal. The latest one, me and Kirk from Unnamed, me yelling at Kirk, and he got everyone, oh, how could Dave ever talk to his employees like that? And fat boy Jason Whitlock, oh, he's evil. And Des Bryant, well, is he run like an offshore gambling company or something? He's like, don't ever, how can you talk to your employees like that? These guys just shut up and mind your business. Welcome to Barstool, all right? This is how we talk to each other back and forth, especially Kirk and I.
He didn't talk back to him like that.
Shut up. Those people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This is about the bigger thing. And again, clips, what we talk about, taken out of context. Now I'm seeing, oh, Dave wants to throw people in jail for Jew jokes, and Dave wants to regulate Jew jokes. He's been this free speech guy, and remember, he sang that Ja Rule lyric like 10 years ago and shit. Like it's crazy. So let me set this. Let me just set the record straight, because people just watch the little clips. I was referring to, if you're making a Jew joke currently, right now, like after a bunch of Jews get Molotov cocktails thrown at them in Colorado, or after 2 Jews are gunned down outside a Jewish museum, and your response is somehow it's like the Jews' fault or a veiled Jew joke, you're an anti-Semitic piece of shit. That's what this is about. This was about
the word.
After Mo Khan held the "fuck the Jews" sign in my bar, and I kicked him out and tried to make an example of him. A troll basically was saying, like, I have no right to talk about that or be mad about that. It's just a joke. I make jokes when a joke's illegal. Well, that's an anti-Semitic piece of shit. I'm not saying he should be in jail. I'm not saying put him in cuffs. I'm just saying that dude is an anti-Semitic piece of shit. If you can't tell the difference between fuck the Jews, which was not a joke, that was Mo Khan's thing, and you become Mo Khan and just be like, what, I can't joke anymore? Either way, freedom of speech. I'm fine with it. I've dealt with Jewish jokes for 20 years. Have you ever seen me talk about, oh, don't make Jewish jokes? No, I got thick skin. I don't give a fuck. People joke. People say dumb shit. People say sometimes funny shit. 20 years, I haven't mentioned it not once. Suddenly I'm mentioning it because I've noticed, in the Mo Khan thing brought it to a head, a real change in this country where it's just open season on the Jews. Now, where I do think freedom of speech, freedom of religion, is you have these protests where they're like saying, what is it, global jihad and globalize the intifadella, whatever that word is. And they're saying from the river to the sea, and they're holding Hamas-like flags and headbands and all this, saying kill the Jews and kill all Americans and all this shit. And guess what? People are starting to kill Jews in America, American citizens. They're throwing Molotov cocktails at them. They're gunning them down outside a Jewish museum. There's 2 other examples. One guy was outside
that guy wasn't a citizen.
Nursery school.
He was here legally.
And was saying, I'm going to kill all these kids. Went to a gun store to buy a gun, all in the same motion to go back. And he actually, thank God, they didn't give him the gun. He didn't pass the background check. And the clerk is literally like, this guy's muttering how he's going to go kill all these Jewish kids at a nursery school in America, in the United States of America, American citizens. So, yes, colleges and people and even politicians have coddled this speech, be like, well, it's speech, it's context. You literally, the University of Columbia, MIT, Harvard, I see there's a fucking flyer for a protest at like Bard College, which I guess is part of Columbia. Literally had a guy throwing a Molotov cocktail on the poster. And it happens like 2 weeks later. So yeah, I am a free speech guy. At what point, when people are literally saying, let's go kill the Jews, do you start to believe what they're saying in America? In America, American citizens. So I have a problem with that. Don't confuse the 2 things with some fucking troll. Be like, hey, Prez, you have a big nose or this or that. Yeah, if you're saying that right now, I think you're an anti-Semitic piece of shit in light of everything that's going around in this country. And go look at my comments on Twitter. Go look at Stool President and read under my name. You'll see how much fucking hate, how much vitriol is out there, and people trying to couch it, be like, oh, he's just mad for... And by the way, I don't care about those fucking people. I'm better than you. I've always been better than you. That's why I'm me and you're trolling and leaving comments under my thing. So I don't give a fuck about those people. I care very much about these protests where apparently you can get away now with saying let's kill Jews, and then people are going out and killing Jews. I'm not sure that's not related. I'm not sure when there's all this fucking anti-Semitic rhetoric ramping up, and people are just kind of looking the other way and feel comfortable to do it, that it doesn't end in tragedy with U.S. citizens getting killed. So, yeah, maybe when I hear from college
people getting
context
killed,
when you say global jihad, I'm taking a little more seriously now.
I think he's full of shit. Look at the comments. But did you hear what he said? I'm better. I don't care. All those people, the haters, I'm better than you. You're not better. I've always been better than you. But look, why can't we criticize Israel? Dave sucks now. Sad to see. Hold on. I clicked on that. Hey, Dave, remember when you stood by jokes about raping women, but said jokes about, I don't understand. That's a new thing. The apple juice. I don't know what it means. So somebody needs to educate me on that. Cause you know how like they
check the replies.
For Hamas, they use, there's 57 of them. For Hamas, they use the watermelon now. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I saw that one.
But let me see.
I want to Google it real quick.
Yeah, or yeah, probably Urban Dictionary would be on there. But yeah, everybody's like, but you're fine with people making black jokes after George Floyd was murdered and other black people were killed.
Oh, Jews. Like juice.
Oh, just like the Y, the letter Y and the letter T means whitey or whitey. Shut up, Dave. Your cover's blown. Go cry somewhere else. This peak fragility on display. How the old saying go, bombs and drones are for Gazans, cause words will always hurt me. Oh, that was Dave Portnoy quote. Victim card denied, free Palestine. Nah, you were wrong and serious. That's how you speak, like a man who slurs his words because he has no self-control. Get shit-faced every day, pathetic. Free Palestine. Rape jokes are cool though, right? Nobody's really, just look at the blue check marks coming into his defense. I didn't really see. But the majority of the people are against it. There's way more comments than that, but for some reason it's not letting me click on it. But I wanted to show you that because he lost his shit, completely unhinged.
Which it's like, dude, yes, if you, don't get me wrong, if you own an establishment, I think that business owners should be able to do whatever they want. You want to kick that guy out for saying something like that? Absolutely. You want to,
he was going to send him to Auschwitz, right? He was really going to send him there. And then the guy accepted the offer and then was like, fuck that. I'm not going over there. I can say whatever the fuck I want. And he's like, you're trying to put a publicity stunt. That's what he said.
Yeah. But it's like, if let's say, for example, somebody put on a sign, fuck the blacks, and you don't kick them out, that's your business. You're a business owner. You got to stand on your business. That's fine. However, when you get to the point of insulting your employees to that
degree, millions of people,
yeah, it's like you cannot have a regular conversation and explain, well, this is why I did this. Obviously, I'm emotional about this situation because of my family lineage or my history or my heritage. Like, it's something that I just will never agree with. And you could speak like that instead of insulting people and I'm better than you. That's where you fucked up. That's where you lost everybody. Because being a man, okay, like you're a grown-ass man. You're not a little kid. You should not let your emotions dictate your words to that extent. Again, you have every right in this country to feel a type of way about your heritage, about your religion. You can defend whatever you want. That's the beauty of freedom of speech. That man said what he said. This is my business. Get the fuck out. You gotta go. You're exercising your right as a business owner, especially. But it's when you get to the point where you are insulting people because you cannot get your point out edgewise, that's where you lost me. Even down to what you said about this disgusting comment you made about women in this country. If people choose to still follow you after saying something like that, that's their fucking right, and it's my fucking right to block you and never hear anything that you have to say. But it's like, dude, you're crazy. You're proving that you're, as a business owner, it's wild to me when somebody acts like that and expect people to still do business with you. It's weird.
I think accountability would have been his saving grace.
Yes.
It gives me like the when the group chat with Signal and the
Yes.
Gabbard, people are trying to make just say you fucked up. I fucked up. I added the wrong
That's
person on
it.
me. My bad. This was what was released. It was
That's it.
revealed, but the safety of the nation was okay. Like what? And you make up excuses. So right now, but his main excuse was that's how we talk to each other. Well, guess what? Now once we hear Kirk disrespect him at all.
Yeah.
He literally emasculated this man. Is it emasculate?
Yeah. And let me tell you, he handled it with such grace. He was like,
With
okay,
poise. Mm-hmm.
got it. Yep. Clock it. Got it. And it's like, dude, you did not handle that. Like you gotta take some classes on when you are a man of that caliber, you own this successful business, you need to learn how to get your emotions in check, even when somebody is testing your nerve like that.
Absolutely.
You know, we had the same criticism with, you know, I love my CEO with PBD when he was coming at Tom crazy. Everybody had the same criticism. Man. It's like when you are, you know, at that level, at that caliber, it's not cool to especially publicly facing.
I was sick to my stomach.
We all were. I was like, how? You know, it's just, when you're at that level, you need to learn how to use your words. But then on the other side, they're probably just looking at, well, money's going to keep rolling in regardless. You know what I mean? They don't.
But I mean, respect and integrity, you can't pay for that. You can't buy that.
Exactly. I think that's I
wanted your reaction to that. We're way beyond our time. So again, the Have You Heard podcast, where we talk about pop culture, such as the bullshit we just witnessed, politics, opinions. Anything else you want to add?
New series coming soon. We're gonna go down the rabbit hole from the very beginning. And we will, you know, stay tuned for that. We're really excited about that. Thank you guys again for watching.
Later.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time on the Have You Heard podcast. Bye.